Tabarism Jana. Good afternoon, brothers. Uh, First, for all of you out there who are feeling like disenfranchised, isolated, and alone, like you don't have any friends, I want to remind you that I am actually your friend. Think of it as like if we were to meet on the street the first time you're an African American descent, I'm your friend. And please believe that. That's first and foremost. Stay strong because the reason why you may not have too many people around you is because you realize all those people around you weren't doing you any good. They weren't plusing your life in any kind of way. Okay, first things first. I have some good news and I have some bad news. The good news is I have successfully united hundreds of black men in the metro Atlanta area together on the same page. The bad news is they are united in their hatred of me. And I laugh at that. That doesn't frighten me. It doesn't make me sad or anything like that because, as I just said, it's because their thinking is thinking, and there's no need for that. And also, as I mentioned in the first video, this is the second edition of Brothers Talk. I tried feverishly to allow myself with at least one black man's group that was dedicated to helping us strengthen our backbones, to put some titanium in your backbone and help you stand up for yourself, your family, our race, and this country. It started with the Black Men's Institute, sponsored by Morehouse College. Again, I tried feverishly to get in touch with someone so that I could join, ally myself, because if you know me at all, you know I'm the type of brother that's going to plus your life. I'm the type of brother that's trying to make a difference in our race and in this country. And on a personal note, I have tried several times to stop because it seems like an exercise in futility when you keep saying, hey, brothers and sisters, we need to love each other a little bit more than what we're doing, and just not getting the proper response, which is, yeah, brother, you're right. We should be doing that. So I tried to align myself with the Black Men's Institute, sponsored by Morehouse, and couldn't get in touch with anybody who could help me move to the next level. In fact, I don't think I ever talked to anybody connected to that, and that's very sad. It makes me think, and I'm starting to get the impression that if you're not in your 20s, you don't matter. Now, obviously, I'm not in my 20s. I'm 170 years old. So, but mature people have just as much, if not more, to offer as millennials. I mean, make some sense out of your life, people. Make some sense out of your day. So after that fell short, it was Brothers United Atlanta. Brothers United Atlanta. And I think they called it 2.0. That one, at first, it was okay, and I even posted about them trying to celebrate them. I got the name wrong in the first post, but by the time I could make a retraction, I had started to say, well, you know, what kind of action are we taking in our community to sort of solidify us and get some solidarity going within our race? You know, what are we doing? And there were alleged professionals peppered throughout the group. And there were also people who, I don't know how to describe it. They had been through such awful tragedy. One guy, I think he had 5 friends get shot and killed. He had himself had been to prison. I went to more than one of those meetings, and after the first meeting where I saw that brother, I never saw him again. That's the kind of thing I'm saying doesn't make any sense. We should have, you know, sort of gathered around that brother and any brother like him to try to, you know, hold him up and say, brother, you're not alone. You may have lost 5 friends to some silliness or whatever, but you still have brothers, you still have friends. That didn't happen. In fact, using the app GroupMe, I don't know if you ever heard of it, but that's the app that we use to communicate with each other in Brothers United 2.0. And somehow they got into my phone. They were listening to my phone calls. They added another telephone number to my dentist's office number. And they made it clear that I wasn't the type of person they wanted around. And remember what I said a moment ago about wanting to actually take some action and positive action and lift up the black male in my area or wherever I could reach out. And they didn't want that. They're not about that. They're about pretending to do things good in the community, pretending to do things good for our race. and pretending isn't going to get anything done. Our ancestors didn't pretend to escape; they ran away for real. So that's what I'm talking about. That same blood that ran through their veins is running through our veins now, and we should, think about it the same way. It got really, really, really toxic. The group Brothers United, and by the time I was done with them, I actually called that other number that was under my dentist office number because I didn't know what it was. I knew my dentist office number was still there, but there was another number, and I called it, and it was the co-founder of Brothers United 2.0, Mr. Whitley. I'm putting you on blast right now because it's sad what your group is doing. Turning away a brother like me. You got to be kidding. It's not that I'm full of myself or anything like that, but it's about I'm about that business, and they didn't like that. Please understand that. I can't underscore that enough. They don't want anybody in that group that's actually trying to make a difference. So I joined a few groups on Facebook, which you know what a clusterfuck that was, because all they talked about was dating and having sex with, the best to have them. I'm like, what in the hell are you talking about? This has nothing to do with our freedoms that are being ripped from us on a daily basis by, once again, we want to put you on blast, Republicans. Anybody who considers themselves a Republican, whether they black or white or racist, they want to turn the clock back, all the way back. And that's just sad. After that, after the clusterfuck of all the Facebook groups, I joined the Black Men's Circle, and it meets over there off at the Horizon Theater on Austin Avenue. And by the way, the Brothers United 2.0, they met at a warehouse space where that tower is, as you can see, over by Peter Street in Murphy. And keep in mind, all the meetings are at night, and these are dangerous neighborhoods. Both the Horizon Theater neighborhood and the Peter Street neighborhood are dangerous neighborhoods to be in at night, especially when you're with a group of people who can't stand you. So it was horrible. But the Brothers Circle, during the first meeting, I'll say, I could tell that someone had told them about me, like the word had got out about this black guy that's trying to actually do something good in the group. Shut him out must have been the message, because that's precisely what they did. And this is the first meeting. You can't possibly know me unless somebody has given you some information that you believe to be true about me. And it's a bunch of hooey, because I'm one of the best people you could ever ally yourself with. That meeting went sour, and the way they do it is they try to gaslight, and gaslight is a word that I introduced to the Brothers 2.0 first. It means to basically toy with somebody's brain to make them think they're going crazy. In the movie, a man wanted to drive his wife crazy, so he turned down the gaslight lamps little by little each day. And when she would go, "Is it dark in here?" he would be like, "No, it's perfectly bright in here," making her think she was going crazy. That's what gaslighting is. So they would, knowing that I want to do something positive, want to take some action, in front of me, they'll exchange words like, "Yeah, that project that we're working on, holler at me after the meeting." So I'm perking up. I'm thinking, okay, I think I would try to ally myself with that. And they would ghost me. I would have their number, try to contact them, and get no response whatsoever. Ridiculous. You have to excuse my language, because every time I think about this kind of thing, it just makes me want to punch out a stained glass window. So the Brothers Circle went sour because they were gaslighting me, trying to make me think there were important members in that group, when there's no important people in that group. They're talking about, "Hey, you need to go to the office and then we'll sit down and do this." What office? Give me a break. Nobody's going to no public bathroom to talk to you about nothing because you don't have an office. Just makes me, okay, anyway. Just a bunch of buffoonery. So my point right now with the Brothers Talk series of videos is to let you know, once again, you have a friend in Bo Hennessy. You have a brother in Bo Hennessy. And I see a future where we are experiencing, or we are enjoying solidarity, and I will keep working at it. As a matter of fact, on a daily basis, I am working to try to find ways to better or bring with me the largest group of people. So again, I make the offer, if there's anything you need to talk about. I understand that you realize that if you publish your personal business or whatever like that, you might feel vulnerable, and I understand that. But if it gets too bad and you just need somebody to talk to, you need somebody to understand your side of the story, and I guarantee you I already understand it, because the pattern that I've seen, especially in the younger people, I think it starts like around age 26. You're trying to make your mark on the world. You're doing the best you can. Even if you have a college degree, that's just not enough. You need to have a network of people, and that's the thing that I lacked when I graduated from college in 1987. My dad had friends and brothers, but by the time I graduated, some of them had died, and the network in essence had dissolved. So I didn't have that. So that was me, 24, 25, 26 years old, trying to make my mark, thinking that having a college degree would give me some kind of a leg up. And the only thing it did mainly was to give me 50 cents more, than some of the other people who didn't have a college degree. 50 cents isn't gonna buy a fucking gallon of milk, even back in the 90s. And another thing you may have run into, just like I did, is once you find a job, and if you're a person like me who doesn't want to, especially at work, air all of my private business, and to have coworkers come to me asking me stuff like, "Are you gay? How much do you pay for rent? Where do you live? What's your exact address?" and all this kind of stuff. And I'm going like, I'm not here for that, okay? And once they realize that I'm not there for that, I become sort of like an agitator. And I suspect that the main reason for that is that the people that were there before me, all their messiness is out, and they don't want to just be ass out unless they drag my ass out as well. But I wasn't having it. I don't talk about my personal business at work. It's just not going to happen. So that offends people. And then you may have also run into this, where your supervisor is either a racist please forgive that, a racist white person, or a black person who thinks that they're going to gain points by, riding the backs of the other black workers. There was one company that had gotten so bad that almost every one of the supervisors that I had, except for one, were not qualified to be my supervisor in any way, shape, or form. There was no promotions going to happen or anything like that. And even though I stood out by being able to, it was with a credit card processing company called Nova Information Systems, putting you on blast. And we reprogrammed credit card terminals over the phone with the merchants who were switching over to our system. There was a particularly difficult machine called the Hypercom 500, which I could make a rollover and play dead. I started training other reps to, reprogram that machine as easily as I was doing it. That required some kind of, recognition or something. The recognition it got me was the general manager standing up in a meeting saying, "Shut up, you have the worst numbers in the entire company." Okay, it's against the law to kill people. Moving on. So, once you finally get a job and you find yourself in a situation like that, take heart, because the EEOC will listen and can, in some instances, give you some relief if you have proof that you're working in a toxic work environment. And it's easier now to document that because we have cell phones. I had a cell phone back then, but it wasn't the type that had a camera on it. But now you have the ability to document every second of the craziness that the EEOC would want to hear about. So keep that in mind. Then you start to be sort of isolated from your family because, as black people, this, and I know this is happening in a lot of families. Some of your family members decided that crack or other opiates were the way to go. And I'm not that type of person. So I was estranged from those family members, and it was okay. But remember, I'm struggling just a little bit. Even though I have my own place, I'm paying my bills, et cetera, et cetera. There are members of the family who are doing much better. And if you're not doing as well as them, they don't want anything to do with you. Does that sound familiar? I'm sure it does. So as time goes by, you've worked for all these different companies because you worked at a particular company until you just couldn't put up with it anymore, until you have to move on or stay there and suffer. That's the only thing you can do. Before I knew it, I had worked for so many companies in Atlanta that work wasn't available. Fast forward to Martin Luther King's birthday, January 15th, 2002. I was coming from my mechanic and driving down Spring Street, and a lady who was a habitual pill popper tried to make a left turn through me in my car and wrapped my car around a telephone pole and injured my back to the point where I can be fry manager at McDonald's or anything like that. I can't work a job where I need to be standing up. So I have to use my mind, which is very strong. And at this stage of my life, I should be able to choose a job like that and be chosen for a job like that. So if you, for whatever reason, find yourself out of work, those people in your family that are doing well, they don't want anything to do with you, because I guess on the one hand, they can't be sure that you're not one of those people that's an opiate addict, but they won't even talk to you to find out. So there's no help from the family. You're not going back to those friends that have chosen opiates, because that's just not a good idea. I mean, you need to keep a clear head, and people like that aren't going to let you alone long enough to concentrate. So twice I was homeless, and once I lived in the gazebo at Piedmont Park. Yes, I did. Right here in Atlanta, where my family is. Ridiculous. I'm telling you all this, brothers, because I want you to know, whatever it is that you've gone through, I've either experienced it myself or I've seen it. And take heart, because you can come out the other side smelling like a rose just like I did. I'm not suffering right now. I'm not pining for my family. We don't want anything to do with each other, and I'm okay with that, at least for right now. But if I find a way to create some solidarity, then I will do it. But as it is right now, I'm reaching out to you, brothers, letting you know that you have a friend in Bo Hennessy. I hear you, I see you, and I'm working to make a difference. So thank you very much. Have a good day.